First story, by Mark Thompson. The crisp air of the Colorado Rockies clung to my skin as I set up camp in the isolated wilderness. It was a solo camping trip, a chance to disconnect from the hustle of city life and immerse myself in the serene embrace of nature. Little did I know that this venture would spiral into a nightmarish ordeal. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the pine-studded landscape. The crackling campfire offered a semblance of warmth against the encroaching darkness. I nestled into my sleeping bag, the anticipation of a peaceful night's rest looming before me. As the forest fell into a profound stillness, an eerie feeling crept over me. I dismissed it as the typical unease one experiences alone in the wilderness. Yet, the unsettling sensation persisted, intensifying with every passing moment. A rustling sound disrupted the quietude, emanating from the thickets beyond the reach of the firelight. My senses heightened, and a chill ran down my spine. It was as if unseen eyes observed my every move. I strained to discern the source of the disturbance, the natural symphony of the forest now replaced by an unsettling hush. Cautiously, I grabbed my flashlight, its beams slicing through the oppressive darkness. The woods seemed to close in, shadows dancing malevolently among the trees. I pressed on, my footsteps echoing like a drumbeat in the silence. That's when I heard it, the distant murmur of voices, indistinct but unmistakably human. A knot tightened in my stomach as I stumbled upon a clearing bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon. A group of figures huddled around a flickering fire, their faces obscured by shadows. They appeared to be chanting, their rhythmic incantations reverberating through the night. Fear gripped me, but curiosity compelled me to linger in the shadows. As the chanting reached a crescendo, a sudden realization struck. A ritual was unfolding before me. Symbols etched into the soil, flickering candles, and an air of supernatural reverence filled the clearing. I recoiled, torn between confronting the strange assembly and retreating into the safety of the forest. My indecision shattered when a twig snapped beneath my foot. The chanting ceased abruptly, and the hooded figures turned towards me in unison. Panic surged through my veins as their gaze pierced the darkness, seemingly acknowledging my unwelcome presence. Without a moment's hesitation, I fled into the woods, guided solely by the beam of my flashlight. The rhythmic pursuit of unseen footsteps echoed behind me, accompanied by guttural whispers that sent shivers down my spine. Fear fueled my sprint through the labyrinthine woods, branches clawing at my skin. Exhausted and disoriented, I stumbled upon my campsite. The fire had dwindled to embers, casting feeble light on my surroundings. As I hastily packed my belongings, the distant echoes of the chanting lingered like a haunting melody. I retreated from the wilderness, haunted by the enigmatic ritual that unfolded beneath the moonlit canopy. The Colorado Rockies, once a sanctuary, now bore witness to an unspeakable ceremony that blurred the line between the natural and the supernatural. Second story, by Jessica Miller. Nestled within the ancient forests of Appalachia, my friends and I embarked on a camping trip that promised camaraderie and the soothing embrace of nature. Little did we know that our journey would evolve into a nightmarish odyssey, forever etched in the annals of our shared terror. Our campsite, nestled by a babbling brook, exuded an air of tranquility. The canopy above formed a natural tapestry, sunlight filtering through the leaves like shards of liquid gold. Eager to embrace the camaraderie of the night, we gathered around the campfire, laughter and the crackling flames filling the air. As the sun dipped below the horizon, we exchanged stories beneath the flickering firelight. The woods seemed to come alive with nocturnal whispers, a symphony of creatures serenading the onset of night. Yet, beneath the surface, an undercurrent of unease began to infiltrate our collective consciousness. The first inkling of strangeness manifested as an inexplicable rustling from the outskirts of our campsite. Initially dismissed as the wind's playful dance through the trees, the noise persisted, growing more pronounced and purposeful. Uneasy glances were exchanged among us, the jovial atmosphere replaced by an unspoken tension. Against a backdrop of darkness, shadows morphed into indistinct shapes that danced at the edge of our perception. An oppressive stillness enveloped the woods, as if nature itself held its breath in anticipation of an impending revelation. It was in this eerie silence that we first heard the footsteps, slow, deliberate, and unmistakably human. We huddled together, our gazes fixed on the inky abyss beyond the firelight. The footsteps approached with methodical precision, echoing through the forest like a spectral heartbeat. Panic rippled through our group as the unseen intruder encroached upon our campsite, shrouded in the veil of darkness. A voice, low and guttural, pierced the silence, its words indistinct but laden with a malevolence that transcended the ordinary. It whispered promises of unknown horrors, taunting us with the fragility of our perceived sanctuary. Paralyzed by fear, we strained to comprehend the surreal nightmare unfolding around us. Suddenly, the shadows coalesced into a silhouette, a figure draped in tattered clothing, face obscured by the hood of a weathered cloak. In its hand, an object glinted ominously, catching the dying embers of our campfire. The intruder's presence was an affront to the serenity we sought, a harbinger of malevolence that shattered our illusions of safety. As the figure advanced, a primal instinct propelled us to action. Fueled by adrenaline, we scattered into the darkness, each fleeing in a different direction. The forest, once a haven, transformed into a labyrinth of uncertainty, branches clawing at our fleeing forms. Hours later, we reconvened at the edge of the forest, each recounting their harrowing encounter with the cloaked intruder. The realization dawned. We had stumbled upon a campsite not our own, a congregation of individuals engaged in an enigmatic ritual beneath the ancient trees. Haunted by the events of that night, we abandoned our campsite, leaving behind the woods that concealed mysteries beyond our understanding. The Appalachians, witness to our shared terror, held the secrets of that fateful night within their ancient embrace, forever entwining our fates with the unsettling rituals of the forest. Third Story, by Patrick Gallagher. A rugged expanse of Wyoming wilderness was the backdrop for our camping expedition, a journey undertaken by myself and a group of close friends seeking adventure and escape from the monotony of urban life. Little did we anticipate that the vastness of the landscape would become the canvas for a nightmarish tableau. Our chosen campsite lay nestled at the foothills of the Grand Tetons, a breathtaking panorama that seemed to stretch to infinity. As daylight waned, the mountains cast long shadows across our campsite, and the stars emerged to punctuate the ink-black canvas of the night sky. The evening began harmoniously, laughter and the scent of a crackling campfire mingling in the crisp mountain air. Yet, as the fire's glow waned, a disconcerting quiet settled over our group. The woods, which moments before had echoed with the sounds of nature, fell into an unnatural hush. It began with a distant hum, a low vibration that reverberated through the soil beneath our feet. The earth seemed to pulse with an unseen energy, each rhythmic throb heralding an unsettling disturbance. We exchanged uneasy glances, our camaraderie fractured by an unspoken acknowledgement of the encroaching unease. In the shadows, the trees appeared to sway in response to a breeze we could not feel. The hum intensified, morphing into an ethereal melody that resonated with an otherworldly cadence. A sense of foreboding gripped us as the forest itself seemed to respond to the spectral symphony. A figure materialized at the edge of the campsite, a silhouette against the darkness. Intrigued yet cautious, we watched as the mysterious stranger approached. Cloaked in garments that mirrored the night, the figure emanated an aura of ancient knowledge and unsettling wisdom. Without uttering a word, the stranger beckoned us to follow. A magnetic pull drew us into the depths of the forest, guided by the haunting melody that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the wilderness. The rhythmic throb of the earth beneath our feet synchronized with the spectral hum, creating an immersive experience that transcended the natural realm. As we traversed deeper into the woods, symbols etched into the bark of ancient trees became apparent. The stranger led us to a clearing, bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon. Symbols adorned the soil, and a sense of reverence permeated the air. We were witnesses to a ritual that defied explanation, a communion between the natural world and forces beyond comprehension. The hum reached a crescendo, its vibrations penetrating our very souls. The woods pulsated with a spectral energy, blurring the lines between reality and the supernatural. Symbols etched into the soil glowed with an otherworldly luminescence, and the stranger's hooded visage became an enigmatic conduit for the unseen forces at play. Suddenly, the ritual ceased. The hum dissipated, and the stranger retreated into the shadows. We found ourselves alone in the clearing, surrounded by the silent sentinel trees. The forest, once a backdrop for adventure, had become an ancient stage for a ritual that transcended the boundaries of the natural world. Our group, forever changed by the spectral encounter, returned to the campsite in a daze. The mountains, silent witnesses to our surreal journey, stood stoically against the canvas of the night sky. The Wyoming wilderness, once a realm of untamed beauty, now harbored secrets that defied explanation. Fourth story, by Rachel Mitchell. The dense woodlands of Vermont formed the backdrop for our camping escapade, a weekend retreat planned by my friends and me to escape the humdrum of city life. Little did we anticipate that the tranquil forest would become the setting for an eerie nocturnal symphony. Our chosen campsite lay by the banks of a serene river, the soothing sound of flowing water complementing the rustle of leaves and the gentle breeze. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting the forest into shadows that seemed to dance in the waning light. As darkness descended, the flickering campfire became our beacon against the encroaching night. As we settled into the rhythm of the wilderness, a distant sound disrupted the symphony of nature. At first, it was a subtle hum, an almost imperceptible vibration that resonated through the air. We dismissed it as a trick of the wind, an auditory illusion that lingered on the fringes of our consciousness. As the night wore on, the hum grew more pronounced, evolving into a haunting melody that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the forest. The once familiar surroundings took on an otherworldly quality, shadows elongating and intertwining in a spectral dance beneath the moonlit canopy. The source of the melody remained elusive, the ethereal notes echoing through the trees with an eerie precision. A sense of disquiet settled over our group, our laughter replaced by hushed whispers as we strained to decipher the origin of the haunting tune. In a collective decision fueled by curiosity and trepidation, we ventured into the woods, guided by the spectral melody that pulsed through the night. The hum led us deeper into the forest, the shadows playing tricks on our senses as if the very trees conspired to disorient us. A clearing emerged, bathed in the silvery glow of the moon. Symbols adorned the ground, illuminated by an unseen force. A group of hooded figures surrounded a makeshift altar, their movements synchronized with the haunting melody that reached its zenith. Frozen in the periphery, we bore witness to a ritual that transcended the boundaries of the natural world. The figures chanted in a language unknown to us, their incantations forming an ethereal tapestry that reverberated through the clearing. Symbols etched into the soil pulsed with an otherworldly luminescence. As the ritual reached its climax, a sudden stillness settled over the clearing. The figures dispersed into the shadows, leaving us alone in the spectral aftermath. Symbols on the ground continued to glow, their spectral light casting an ethereal aura over the ancient clearing. Silently, we retraced our steps to the campsite, the forest's nocturnal symphony replaced by an uneasy quiet. The river, witness to the surreal encounter, flowed with a muted serenity. Vermont's woodlands, once a haven of tranquility, now bore the indelible marks of a ritual that transcended the veil between the natural and the supernatural. Fifth story, by Brian Anderson. Nestled within the heart of the Adirondack Mountains, our camping trip promised an escape into nature's embrace. The New York wilderness, with its towering pines and crystalline lakes, beckoned us to unwind. Little did we fathom that our journey would unravel into a night of chilling discoveries and ominous revelations. Our campsite, ensconced by the shore of Lake Placid, offered a picturesque view as the sun dipped below the rugged peaks. A symphony of cicadas and distant birds accompanied the swaying trees, casting dappled shadows across our campsite. The idyllic setting lulled us into a false sense of security, the fragrant pine-scented air fostering a tranquil ambience. As the night took hold, we gathered around the campfire, the flames dancing in harmony with the nocturnal soundscape. Laughter and camaraderie echoed through the woods, bonding our group in the shared experience of escape. Yet, as the fire's glow waned, a subtle shift in the atmosphere hinted at an encroaching unease. A peculiar sound, akin to the whisper of wind through leaves, interwove with the nocturnal chorus. At first, it was dismissed as a natural phenomenon, the rustle of branches or the gentle lap of lake waves against the shore. However, as the night deepened, the sound evolved into an unsettling symphony, a discordant melody that resonated with an unnatural cadence. Curiosity mingled with trepidation as we ventured toward the origin of the eerie serenade. Guided by the haunting sounds, we navigated through the woods, the glow of flashlights illuminating the path ahead. The air thickened with an unseen tension, branches casting ominous shadows that seemed to writhe in time with the spectral melody. A clearing emerged, bathed in the silvery glow of the moon. Symbols adorned the ground, etched with precision as if scripted by an unseen hand. In the center, a lone figure stood, a spectral conductor orchestrating the haunting symphony. Hooded and cloaked in darkness, the figure seemed attuned to forces beyond comprehension. The revelation struck. This was no chance occurrence. We had stumbled upon a clandestine gathering, a congregation bound by an enigmatic purpose. The symbols on the ground pulsed with an otherworldly luminescence, casting an ethereal glow on the hooded figures that encircled the clearing. As the melody reached its crescendo, an unseen force seemed to animate the very air. Whispers echoed through the clearing, voices that transcended the boundaries of human comprehension. The symbols on the ground began to shimmer with an ethereal radiance, revealing glimpses of an arcane language etched into the fabric of reality. Our presence went unnoticed until the final note resonated through the clearing. The hooded figures turned toward us, their gaze piercing through the shadows. Panic surged as we realized the gravity of our intrusion. The clearing, once a haven for the occult, now hosted an unexpected audience. In unison, the figures retreated into the shadows, vanishing like phantoms into the depths of the forest. The symbols on the ground dimmed, and the haunting melody dissipated into the night. We were left alone in the eerie aftermath, grappling with the unsettling revelation that the Adirondacks harbored secrets beyond our comprehension. The journey back to the campsite was a silent pilgrimage, the woods holding the weight of the surreal encounter. Lake Placid, once a serene mirror, reflected the moon with an otherworldly glow. The Adirondack Mountains, silent witnesses to the arcane gathering, stood sentinel against the canvas of the night sky. Sixth Story, by Olivia Martinez. The rugged terrain of the Sierra Nevada mountains provided the backdrop for our camping expedition, a retreat into nature's embrace with a close-knit group of friends. California's wilderness, with its towering pines and alpine lakes, promised an escape from the demands of everyday life. Little did we anticipate that our idyllic retreat would unravel into a night of disquieting revelations. Our campsite, perched on the shores of Lake Tahoe, offered a panoramic view of the majestic peaks. The sun's descent painted the sky with hues of orange and pink, casting a warm glow across the landscape. A crisp mountain breeze carried the scent of pine as we set up camp, laughter echoing through the tranquil surroundings. As twilight settled, we gathered around the campfire, the flames dancing in harmony with the fading light. A sense of camaraderie enveloped us, accompanied by the soothing sounds of the wilderness. The crackling fire became the focal point, its glow fostering an atmosphere of shared warmth and relaxation. However, as darkness veiled the landscape, an unsettling stillness descended upon our group. The usual sounds of the Sierra Nevada, whispers of wind through the trees and the distant call of nocturnal creatures, diminished to an eerie hush. An indescribable tension hung in the air, imperceptible yet palpable, shattering the tranquility we sought. The first sign of disquiet manifested as a distant hum, barely audible above the crackling embers. It swirled through the night air, carrying an otherworldly resonance that left us captivated yet uneasy. The hum seemed to emanate from the heart of the mountains, an ethereal melody that transcended the boundaries of the natural world. Guided by a mix of curiosity and trepidation, we ventured toward the source of the haunting hum. The Sierra Nevada, bathed in the silvery glow of the moon, revealed shadows that seemed to dance in time with the spectral melody. As we traversed deeper into the woods, the hum intensified, vibrating through the very core of our beings. A clearing emerged, an amphitheater in the ancient forest bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon. Symbols adorned the ground, etched with an arcane precision that defied explanation. Hooded figures surrounded an ancient altar, their movements synchronized with the haunting melody that pulsed through the clearing. Frozen at the edge of the spectral gathering, we bore witness to a ritual that transcended the natural order. The hum reached a crescendo, intertwining with the rhythmic throb of the earth beneath our feet. Symbols etched into the soil pulsed with an otherworldly luminescence, casting an ethereal glow on the hooded figures that orchestrated the arcane performance. The realization struck. A convergence of forces beyond human comprehension unfolded before us. The Sierra Nevada, guardian of ancient secrets, hosted a clandestine gathering that defied the boundaries of the natural and the supernatural. We were inadvertent spectators to a ritual woven into the fabric of the mountains themselves. As the ritual concluded, the figures dispersed into the shadows, leaving us alone in the clearing. Symbols on the ground ceased their luminous dance, returning to a state of dormancy. The hum dissipated into the night, leaving behind an unsettling quiet that echoed through the ancient woods. We retraced our steps to the campsite, the haunting melody replaced by an eerie stillness. Lake Tahoe, once a mirror reflecting the serenity of the Sierra Nevada, now seemed to conceal the secrets witnessed in the heart of the forest. The mountains, silent sentinels against the canvas of the night sky, bore witness to the spectral encounter that would forever linger in the recesses of our memories. Seventh Story, by Michael Davis. Nestled within the Appalachian Mountains, our camping excursion was meant to be a respite from the daily grind. The North Carolina wilderness, with its dense foliage and winding trails, promised solace and serenity. Little did we anticipate that our journey would unravel into a night of inexplicable occurrences and uncanny revelations. Our chosen campsite, ensconced in the heart of Pisgah National Forest, greeted us with a symphony of cicadas and the rustle of leaves in the mountain breeze. The sun's descent cast a warm hue over the landscape, the embers of our campfire dancing in response to the fading light. A camaraderie enveloped our group, laughter echoing through the tranquil surroundings. As darkness draped the forest, the ambient sounds of nature assumed an eerie stillness. An otherworldly quiet descended, a subtle shift that defied the natural order. The hush was unsettling, a harbinger of the inexplicable events that awaited us beneath the canopy of ancient trees. The first sign of disquiet manifested as a distant whisper, a low, indistinct murmur that seemed to emanate from the heart of the mountains. It fluttered through the night air, a spectral resonance that teased the periphery of our senses. An uneasy tension gripped our group as we strained to discern the origin of the haunting murmur. Guided by an amalgam of trepidation and curiosity, we ventured into the woods, the glow of flashlights piercing the shadows. The trail, once familiar, became an otherworldly labyrinth as the spectral murmur intensified. It led us deeper into the heart of Pisgah, the trees casting elongated shadows that seemed to writhe in time with the enigmatic melody. A clearing materialized, bathed in the silver glow of the moon. Symbols adorned the ground, etched with an arcane precision that spoke of an ancient language. Hooded figures encircled an ancient altar, their movements synchronized with the haunting murmur that echoed through the clearing. At the fringes of the spectral congregation, we bore witness to a ritual that transcended the natural realm. The murmur reached a crescendo, its vibrations pulsating through the clearing. Symbols etched into the soil glowed with an otherworldly luminescence, casting an ethereal glow on the hooded figures that orchestrated the arcane performance. The realization struck. A convergence of forces beyond human comprehension unfolded before us. Pisgah National Forest, guardian of ancient mysteries, hosted a clandestine gathering that defied the boundaries of the known and the unknowable. We were accidental spectators to a ritual woven into the very fabric of the mountains. As the ritual concluded, the figures dispersed into the shadows, leaving us alone in the clearing. Symbols on the ground ceased their luminous dance, returning to a state of dormancy. The spectral murmur dissipated into the night, leaving behind an unsettling quiet that resonated through the ancient woods. Silently, we retraced our steps to the campsite, the haunting murmur replaced by an eerie stillness. The forest, once a sanctuary, now harbored secrets that eluded the grasp of human understanding. Pisgah, sentinel of the Appalachian Mountains, stood stoically against the canvas of the night sky, guarding the enigmatic rites witnessed beneath its ancient canopy. Eighth Story, by Emma Simmons. The Cascade Range in Oregon set the stage for our camping escapade, a journey into the heart of nature's grandeur with a group of adventurous friends. The lush evergreen forests and majestic peaks promised an escape from the mundane. Little did we anticipate that our retreat would unfold into a night of surreal encounters and unsettling revelations. Our chosen campsite, nestled near the serene waters of Crater Lake, provided a breathtaking panorama of the volcanic landscape. As the sun dipped below the horizon, hues of orange and pink painted the sky, casting a warm glow over the mountainous terrain. A sense of camaraderie enveloped our group, laughter echoing through the tranquil surroundings. However, as nightfall descended, an uncanny stillness draped the forest. The usual symphony of nocturnal sounds, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of wildlife, diminished to an eerie hush. An unspoken tension permeated the air, shattering the tranquility we sought in the embrace of nature. The first indication of disquiet materialized as a soft rustle, a spectral whisper that seemed to emanate from the depths of the forest. It danced through the night air, carrying an otherworldly resonance that left us captivated yet unnerved. The ethereal whisper hinted at a presence that defied the known boundaries of the natural world. Driven by a mix of curiosity and trepidation, we followed the spectral whisper into the woods. The Cascade Range, bathed in the silvery glow of the moon, revealed shadows that seemed to shift and morph in response to the enigmatic melody. As we delved deeper into the forest, the whisper intensified, vibrating through the very core of our beings. A clearing emerged, an amphitheater in the ancient forest bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon. Symbols adorned the ground, etched with an arcane precision that defied explanation. Hooded figures surrounded an ancient altar, their movements synchronized with the haunting whisper that pulsed through the clearing. Frozen at the edge of the spectral gathering, we bore witness to a ritual that transcended the natural order. The whisper reached a crescendo, intertwining with the rhythmic throb of the earth beneath our feet. Symbols etched into the soil pulsed with an otherworldly luminescence, casting an ethereal glow on the hooded figures that orchestrated the arcane performance. The realization struck. A convergence of forces beyond human comprehension unfolded before us. The Cascade Range, keeper of ancient secrets, hosted a clandestine gathering that defied the boundaries of the known and the mysterious. We were inadvertent spectators to a ritual woven into the very fabric of the mountains themselves. As the ritual concluded, the figures dispersed into the shadows, leaving us alone in the clearing. Symbols on the ground ceased their luminous dance, returning to a state of dormancy. The spectral whisper dissipated into the night, leaving behind an unsettling quiet that echoed through the ancient woods. Retracing our steps to the campsite, the haunting whisper replaced by an eerie stillness, we marveled at the enigma of Crater Lake. The waters, once a mirror reflecting the majesty of the Cascade Range, now concealed the secrets witnessed in the heart of the forest. The mountains, silent sentinels against the canvas of the night sky, bore witness to the spectral encounter that would forever linger in the recesses of our memories. Ninth Story, by Riley Harris. The vast expanse of the Rocky Mountains beckoned us for a camping retreat, promising an escape into the untamed wilderness. Colorado's rugged terrain, with its soaring peaks and alpine meadows, set the stage for our adventure. Little did we anticipate that our expedition would morph into a night of surreal occurrences and unsettling revelations. Our campsite, nestled within the shadows of the Rockies, offered a panoramic view of the towering peaks. As the sun dipped below the mountainous horizon, hues of orange and purple painted the sky, casting a warm glow over the landscape. A camaraderie enveloped our group, laughter echoing through the tranquil surroundings. However, as the night unfurled, an uncanny stillness settled upon the forest. The usual symphony of nocturnal sounds, the wind whispering through the trees, the distant calls of unseen creatures, diminished to an eerie hush. An unspoken tension permeated the air, eclipsing the serenity we sought in the embrace of nature. The first sign of disquiet manifested as a distant hum, a spectral murmur that seemed to resonate from the heart of the Rockies. It reverberated through the night air, carrying an otherworldly resonance that left us captivated yet unsettled. The ethereal hum hinted at a presence that transcended the known boundaries of the natural world. Guided by a blend of curiosity and trepidation, we followed the spectral hum into the woods. The Rockies, bathed in the silvery glow of the moon, revealed shadows that seemed to dance in response to the enigmatic melody. As we ventured deeper into the forest, the hum intensified, vibrating through the very core of our beings. A clearing materialized, an amphitheater in the ancient forest bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon. Symbols adorned the ground, etched with an arcane precision that defied explanation. Hooded figures encircled an ancient altar, their movements synchronized with the haunting hum that echoed through the clearing. At the periphery of the spectral congregation, we stood witness to a ritual that transcended the natural order. The hum reached a crescendo, intertwining with the rhythmic throb of the earth beneath our feet. Symbols etched into the soil pulsed with an otherworldly luminescence, casting an ethereal glow on the hooded figures that orchestrated the arcane performance. The realization struck. A convergence of forces beyond human comprehension unfolded before us. The Rockies, guardians of ancient mysteries, hosted a clandestine gathering that defied the boundaries of the known and the enigmatic. We were accidental spectators to a ritual woven into the very fabric of the mountains themselves. As the ritual concluded, the figures dispersed into the shadows, leaving us alone in the clearing. Symbols on the ground ceased their luminous dance, returning to a state of dormancy. The spectral hum dissipated into the night, leaving behind an unsettling quiet that echoed through the ancient woods. Silently, we retraced our steps to the campsite, the haunting hum replaced by an eerie stillness. The Rockies, once a bastion of natural grandeur, now harbored secrets that eluded the grasp of human understanding. The mountains, silent sentinels against the canvas of the night sky, bore witness to the spectral encounter that would forever linger in the recesses of our memories. 10th Story, by Hannah Bennett. Our camping expedition took us into the heart of the Smoky Mountains, where Tennessee's dense woodlands and mist-covered peaks promised an escape into the embrace of nature. Little did we anticipate that our retreat would transform into a night of unsettling occurrences and surreal revelations. Our chosen campsite, nestled amid the verdant foliage, provided a haven beneath the towering trees. As the sun dipped below the mountainous horizon, the sky was ablaze with hues of pink and orange, casting a warm glow over the landscape. A camaraderie enveloped our group, laughter echoing through the tranquil surroundings. Yet, as nightfall draped the forest in shadows, an otherworldly stillness descended. The usual sounds of nocturnal life, the rustle of leaves, the distant cries of unseen creatures, diminished to an eerie hush. An unspoken tension hung in the air, eclipsing the serenity we sought in the Smoky Mountains' natural embrace. The first indication of disquiet materialized as a soft whisper, a spectral murmur that seemed to emanate from the heart of the woods. It drifted through the night air, carrying an otherworldly resonance that left us captivated yet unsettled. The ethereal whisper hinted at a presence that defied the known boundaries of the natural world. Driven by a mix of curiosity and trepidation, we followed the spectral whisper into the woods. The Smoky Mountains, bathed in the silvery glow of the moon, revealed shadows that seemed to shift and undulate in response to the enigmatic melody. As we ventured deeper into the forest, the whisper intensified, vibrating through the very core of our beings. A clearing materialized, an amphitheater in the ancient forest bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon. Symbols adorned the ground, etched with an arcane precision that defied explanation. Hooded figures encircled an ancient altar, their movements synchronized with the haunting whisper that pulsed through the clearing. Frozen at the edge of the spectral gathering, we bore witness to a ritual that transcended the natural order. The whisper reached a crescendo, intertwining with the rhythmic throb of the earth beneath our feet. Symbols etched into the soil pulsed with an otherworldly luminescence, casting an ethereal glow on the hooded figures that orchestrated the arcane performance. The realization struck. A convergence of forces beyond human comprehension unfolded before us. The Smoky Mountains, keepers of ancient secrets, hosted a clandestine gathering that defied the boundaries of the known and the mysterious. We were inadvertent spectators to a ritual woven into the very fabric of the mountains themselves. As the ritual concluded, the figures dispersed into the shadows, leaving us alone in the clearing. Symbols on the ground ceased their luminous dance, returning to a state of dormancy. The spectral whisper dissipated into the night, leaving behind an unsettling quiet that echoed through the ancient woods. Silently, we retraced our steps to the campsite, the haunting whisper replaced by an eerie stillness. The Smoky Mountains, once a sanctuary, now concealed secrets that eluded the grasp of human understanding. The mountains, silent sentinels against the canvas of the night sky, bore witness to the spectral encounter that would forever linger in the recesses of our memories. Thank you for joining us for the whole video. That video you see on screen is one of my favorite. Check it out. If you've enjoyed these horror stories, show your support by hitting the subscribe button. Did this tale send chills down your spine? Let me know in the comments.